Hey guys, hope you're all well. Right, bit of a late start today, but I'm going to try and do at least something. I was sort of trying to have a restful day, but I've cleaned the shed up a little bit, so it's a bit more organised, and I'm going to try and do something on the special sticker bike before the day's over. It's probably only a little job, but it'll be at least something done. It's better than nothing. So I'm going to attempt to start the brackets for the rear mudguard. I want to do them slightly different to others, because actually all the M-fills that I have done, they are actually all very slightly different, especially Dan's bike that was a lot different. Anyway, I'm going to start with the bottom bracket. So normally here I would put like an extra tube in there, curved tube, and bring the bracket off the center, but I feel like I want to do something different on this one. And then normally I'd bring a bracket from the center of this cross member down to the mudguard. May still do that on the top, I don't know. I may dream something up as I'm going through the bottom one. Also got a spare primary case for it, because as you can see, this one is not too good, so save messing about with that. We've just got another one. We'll get all that cleaned up when it comes to engine cleaning time and get that on there. Anyway, onto the mudguard. Yeah, as you can see, I've done my usual trick, spaced it with garden hose, strapped round with cable ties. All high-tech stuff in here, as you know. So that gives it enough spacing, because we don't want it sat up like a dirt bike. We want it as low as possible, and that's always worked in the past, so I'll kind of stick with that idea. Anyway, bottom bracket. So I've got a bit of the usual rusty old sheet. This is, what's that? Is that 2mm? I haven't got my glasses on. Anyway, it's thick enough. So I'm going to try and attempt to do something with that. Okay, so I've trimmed a bit off there, cleaned it up a bit. I'm going to start with an offcut of the mudguard just to get the shape. So it'll only get as near, because these mudguards can actually vary down the whole length of the guard. So it should get us somewhere near to where I want to be. And place that in the middle there. A bit burn. That'll be alright. I'm not using it. This is just for a marker. It's nothing to do with the bracket I'm making. Right, let's draw around that. That should do us. Right, now I've got to cut that out. Best way to do that, probably my plasma, but that is buried in the back shed. So just for this little job, we'll put up with the grinder and get it out that way. I've got that as close as possible to the mark, so I'm just going to trim it back now and get it so, whoops, dropping it, getting it so it actually fits that little sliver of mudguard I've drawn round. Shouldn't be too far off at that. Just a little bit more down there for that to drop in. Right, now we've got to dream up what shape we're actually going to do the rest of it. Yeah, so this will be fixed to the bottom and welded round and all dressed in nice, and then we're going to figure out how to make it actually look nice and not like a big horrible clumsy bent up bracket, so it blends in with the style of the bike really. So I'll dream something up. It is very slightly different on this part of the mudguard, but I'm not worried about that at the moment. I just want to try and get the basic shape first. What I think I'll do now is sort of mark under the plate against the frame, because I actually want it to drop inside slightly. So I'll do that and trim that off, and then we'll figure out what shape we're going to have up here. Okay, we've got a basic shape idea there. So I think I'm going to cut this with a bit of extra, leave a bit of extra to allow me some to trim down, because I want sort of the line between this and the frame to be as good as possible. And we'll cut this, radius the end there, and then we'll be getting somewhere close, although there's still a fair bit to do to it. Anyway, let's cut that out and go from there. Right, cup of thinking juice. Okay, it's coming on. It's sort of getting there. So what we've got so far is the top plate, and I think that shape blends in enough. So what I'm going to do now is cut a strip for the face, because we don't just want a flat plate like that, do we? We want it sort of chunky looking, if you know what I mean, but not too chunky where it looks ridiculously out of place. So I'm going to put a front on it, and we're going to put a back on it, and I think I've got an idea how to fit it with hidden fixings. So this will end up being a part of the mudguard. Anyway, let's cut a strip and get that on the front and blend all that in. This plate's actually got a bit of water damage there that's bitten into the surface a bit, but we'll dress all that up. It'll be all nice by the time we've finished it. I'm just up against the time bit. Like I say, it was a late start today, so I've been obviously editing the show video, and thank you all for watching that anyway, and thank you all those guys that came up and said hello at the show as well. That was brilliant. It was good to see some faces. Maybe I should do something one day where we have a bit of a meet-up. I think that would be nice, wouldn't it? Probably try and do that before I go off on my big travels. Anyway, back to the bracket. I think this strip here is an ideal piece if we continue with the cut along there. It's a bit bent, but we'll shape it to the bracket we just made anyway, so that doesn't matter too much. So we'll just follow that along. There we go. Right, close your eyes everybody. I'm just going to cut that out. Okay, we got that cut out. Now we want that to that shape, and then I want to cut another shape into it. I don't want to just leave it that width all the way along. I'm just trying to add sort of extra shapes to it to make it a bit more interesting, better looking. So then, if we get a bit of a round bar in the vise and just carefully get that curve into it, and then we can just trim the ends off. bit of that should do it. We'll put that there as a guide. So we'll see what we're doing. That's about the middle. Bit more. Tiny little tweak. I think that's the one. And it is. How about that? Right. Oh, I think we need to go one more. Yeah, one more of them. That one. That's the one. Right, we'll get that welded onto there. And then we need one at the back as well. This bracket should be quite strong. We only need one fixing in each side. I think I've got an idea in my head how I'm going to do that. So they're hidden. Because obviously we are fixing each side at the bottom. And then some sort of fixing at the top of the mudguard. That'll create its strength and keep it from wobbling all over the place. Right. Let's get that welded on and trimmed up. Right, this is going to be the underneath, so I'm going to get a couple of tacks along here, because obviously you're not going to see that, and then we'll do a nice weld all the way across the top and dress it all in so it looks like one piece. Oh, there we go. Went a bit wobbly on that. Never mind. It's all getting dressed back. Alright, I'll let that cool and then we'll dress it all back. And what I'm going to do as well as, let me just get this, as the mudguard's coming down from the bike like so, and into that, we'll also put some strengtheners on the inside to help spread the load, so it's not just relying on this weld round here. With all the material being so thin, any vibration it could start splitting, so we'll put a few little segments in there as well, go into the mudguard across the whole width. That's another bit done. Well, I'll just trim these end bits off now, because I'm going to have to leave the ends open, and then we've got to put some back pieces in, and then at the bottom of this I'll find some see if I can find some solid square for blocks that we can tap, drill and tap. Then the brackets will come off the frame into there, and it'll be all bolted up from underneath. And literally all you'll see is that bracket and no fixings. And we'll get this nicely trimmed so we've got a nice perfect sort of panel join between the frame tubes and this. Let's get them marked out for trimming them off. Do it. what I want to do next, because I don't want that big shape over the whole width. So we're going to taper that up, and I think it'll just look better that way. It won't look so bulky, but we still need to leave enough depth in the ends here for the hidden brackets. I think about halfway, approximately. There. Right. Let's get a line in now, from there to there. That'll do it. Right, now for the chopper. Let's chop that off. I think that's a better shape. Right, that's about there. We'll get a bit of dressing up on the old Scotchy wheel now, just to smooth things out. There we go. Just got a little nick of weld to fill in there. Ooh, getting shot. Just a little bit there, nothing too bad. Right, let's go and try that on for size. See if it'll rest in place. Obviously we've still got a fair bit to do to it. Yeah, not bad. I think that should look all right. So I think I've got to stop for the night. So I've sort of got a rule. It's fast approaching 9 o'clock, and to be kind to the neighbours and all that. And as this is on noisy work, grinding and stuff, I think we'll call it on that. But what we've got to do now is put the back in. I'll tell you what, let's get the camera off here so we can have a look round. Dum dum dum. Right, I can see a bit better now. So we've got that taper at the front there. If you look at it from far away, it's not massive, it's sort of not in your face. It's nice and neat. So what we're going to do next is put the back in so it drops down level with the base of the mudguard, so it all looks part of it. We're going to have to weld it all the way around here, and we'll dress all that in so it all looks sort of moulded. Let's go around the other side. I've got it pushed together properly over here. I'm not going to touch it because it's going to try and fall off. Yeah, I think that it's a bit different from just a piece of tube going across, isn't it? I'm happy with that. Yeah, so we're well round here. We'll dress all that in. We'll have gussets on the inside to help spread the load, so it's not just relying on a little thin bit of weld across here, because it's all going to be dressed in. That'll add strength, and then it'll have hidden brackets underneath, sort of a thicker block welded to the inside of this actual bracket, some little eyelets coming off the frame, so it'll all drop down on top of them and bolt up from underneath, and it will literally look how it looks now, with no fixings, apart from it'll have a back on it, so it'll make the view from here a bit better. Yeah, I think that'll do. I'm just going to figure out what to do at the top now, whether to just go how I normally go with them or do something a bit different up there as well. I shall sleep on that idea, and I'll be come up with something by the morning, hopefully. Right, let's pop that back off a minute. Let's go around here. Yeah, so obviously when the bike's on its final build, the mudguard will go on first, so it'll be easy to fit with this on, and then the wheel will go in last, sort of thing. So yeah, at the bottom of this, spin it over. Where's that bin of stumpy bin of mudguard? So the mudguard at the base of this will be coming out obviously only the same depth as this, and we'll just put some little pieces in like so that won't be seen, but it'll make sure it's all nice and strong. And then some nice thicker brackets off the frame with a hole in, that will come off the frame, disappear under there. We'll put some thicker blocks on here, drilled and tapped. And yeah, it'll literally all bolt up from underneath then. And that'll do the job. So there we go, that's something done. I'll get a proper on-time start tomorrow, so I don't think I've got anything else to do in the morning, hopefully, touch wood. And we'll get this mudguard done and dusted, and then after that we'll get on with the side mount number plate, and then after that it's the little outrigger for the brake pedal. And I think we ain't far off strip down. Oh, I wanted to do something different with the tank mounts on this bike. I don't know if I mentioned that. Let's just have a quick look at that. As on all Enfields, the tank mounts underneath here, that also takes this sort of head brace, head steady. So I will have to keep the lug there for that anyway. But on the front here, I was thinking, because normally I do, I chop this off because I'm not a big fan of that big ugly bracket, and then I'll come out here and just leave this bit as the brackets for the tank. What I'm going to do is chop all of this off, so we've got that nice shape there, and I'm going to mount it underneath like the early Enfields, basically like Dan's tank. So you won't see any of this, and then obviously there's going to be an hole exposed in the frame there. We'll just weld all that up, or we'll put a nice brass disc in there like I did with Dan's bike. Mind you, I think we'll weld this one up. So yeah, we won't have that great big front on it, because they're actually quite a nice shaped tank, especially with that thing gone. But yeah, we'll find a place underneath to do some brackets and bolt it all up from underneath, and probably do the same with the back, but obviously we've got to leave that lug on the frame for the old head steady there. There we go. Right, I think that'll do. I think it's about 9 o'clock. It may even be gone 9 o'clock now, so I'm going to knock the noisy work on the head and shut up for the day. Anyway, that'll do. Cheers for watching, guys.